All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another live stream. This went well the other night, so let's try it again, shall we? Looks like we already got some people joining in. Yeah, it's the King to Ka week, so I imagine we'll have a lot of discussion about that. Yeah, I don't think they're getting a 4D. That would be pretty wild. Let me know if you guys have any stream issues or anything as we get going here. I don't want to get too far into it, give people a chance to get into the stream. If we're having any issues with quality or loading, please let me know. No, I'm not live on Twitch, YouTube only. Alright, looks like we got a good crowd already coming in here. There are not plans to make a video on that incident. Nor do I really want to cover anything with Great Adventure. I think that park has a very bright future ahead of it, but it is very much going to be a slow burn. But a couple years, that will probably be one of the best Six Flags parks. Alright, so anyway, tonight's plan, we're going to be animating, well, more creating. We might get to animating. We'll see how long this takes. We're going to be creating a 4D coaster. Reason being, due to popular request, top thrill to us of it bearing on. I don't know what you mean by that. Reason being, by popular request, we're going to make a detailed video on how this type of ride works. And to do that, we're going to need a animation. So a lot of the parts of this are going to be a little bit simplified. Notice the track is just going to be straight. It's going to make animating a lot easier. Obviously, the 4D track itself is curved, but beyond that, we shouldn't have too much to do. Yeah, let me know. We can do a Q&A in the comments or chat just like before. And we will do some creating of this 3D model. We're going to work on the wheel assemblies first here. They're pretty simple. We're not going to make the wheels move. Fun fact, none of my animations, the wheels move. It's just so much simpler not to bother with them. Actually, BTMR, the wheels do move, but that was literally an animation of only the wheels because it wasn't very good yet. But yes. I have no idea what's going on with the Surf Coaster lawsuit. Flashback at New England close? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know why it would, but stranger things have happened. King to Ka is closed. I don't know. I never cared much for King to Ka, so I am not distraught by today's or yesterday's news. I remember riding it for the first time. I said, "Wow, that's so much worse than Top Thrill Dragster," and that was it. Nitro should have been axed. Now that's a good ride. That is a ride I would not want to see removed. Do these individually real quick. Make sure this is fitting nicely. There we go. Animated 3D announcement for a flat ride. Nothing wrong with that. Flat rides are great. Alright, we'll do a quick wheel axle here. Nothing too fancy, just want some kind of pin to go through the wheel. I'm not going to add any more 3D depth to the wheel than what you already see here. If I do that, it's going to be very obvious that they're not rotating. And again, this is a simple animation. I do not want to bother with making these rotate. So simplicity is usually better. 3D cursor here. Something just about like that. We'll mirror it across the wheel assembly and move our wheels accordingly. Cover the accident on Banshee. I've thought about it. The thing with that is it's going to be a pretty boring video because it would be pretty much the same as Batman, or if I did Raptor, same story. I actually have the Raptor accident report. I just have never done anything with it. There's really not a whole lot of point to doing it, because if you want to know about it, just watch the Batman video and change a few things around and you've got the same accident. So, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, never say never, but I wouldn't count on it. I don't think I'll cover it. Why not do this in No Limits 2? Because in No Limits 2, I can't tear apart like a ride unit and show the internals. Blender allows me to do that. Also, I simply know more about Blender than No Limits 2. So, many reasons. Material. That should get the job done there. How are we looking? Oh yeah, that gets the point across. OBS. You guys doing alright? I'm getting a notification OBS is chugging along here. Let's turn off these notifications. Whole compilation about fair incidents. I thought about it actually. I watched Ryan, the Ride Mechanics fair ride video, and it kind of gave me some ideas. But I can't say that I'm gonna cover that, because at least not individually, or not in one big compilation, unless they all got their individual videos first, just because none of them are similar. It's not like the slingshot ride videos where I'm covering like a million of the same type of accident. So not a terrible idea, but I think they'd each get their own individual accident video before that. Can you find an accident report for Yankee Cannonball so you can cover Yankee Cannonball incident in 2002? I mean, I can look. Can always look. A lot of times, older things like that especially are very hard to find reports for. Outer rails aren't parallel with the inner rails. They're parallel this direction. They're not parallel here because they control the spin. So they go up and down. Or a video on knockoff Chinese ride accidents. I actually have something very similar to that coming out tomorrow, 8 a.m. So stay tuned for that. Not necessarily, there are a few accidents mentioned, but it has a lot to do with the world of Chinese rides and their safety. So check that out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Debunking fake coaster accident videos. So send me more fake coaster accidents, because I checked that submission form just a few days ago and there was nothing new in there. So please send them to me. I have not found any. Alright. Got something going on here. We'll skip ahead in track. We're doing Epidemic Sound here, just playing in the web player, so if anyone has any issues with that, let me know. Yes, we did cover Tagadas in Flat Ride Friday. This is the type of coaster that bankrupted Aerodynamics, although Aerodynamics had plenty of problems before this, so it was just the final nail. Yeah, you're very right about the Tagada accident video. If I were to ever do something like that, it would be very much the same, much like the slingshot one, but at least there's a bit of variety in that. You know, not all the slingshot accidents are exactly the same, but Yeah, Tagada's, it would just be someone fell down / fell out. Yeah, Arrow had their time. If you haven't seen it, watch the Legacy of Arrow documentary. It'll tell you all you need to know about them. Let's move this. Yeah. We're going to make the connection to the wheel bogey here. I need to extend this a little taller is what I need to do. Oops. Wrong setting. Both sides? No. Let's check the old chat. Dr. Mike's video on theme park injuries. No, I don't think I have, but if there's anything wrong in it, we can look at that. What made you get into the coaster industry and start covering coaster accidents? Good question. So, coaster industry, I grew up in Ohio. That's all you need to know. No, more detailed, but I mean, you know, you have CPKI, go there every summer. You know, the usual story, and it's Ohio. What more is there to do? And eventually watched some Coaster Studios video on reviewing Maverick that made me like realize that this is a more interesting topic. I can learn more about this. There's people that care about it, and fell into like watching those top 10, you know, roller coaster videos, which a lot of them were absolute garbage. So I made a video debunking one of the ones that claimed that, you know, so-and-so rides are dangerous, and just kind of for fun, and it blew up, was surprisingly popular, and so I ended up making more of those, and that was all cool and all, but then it got to a point where I was covering these videos and they were bringing up the same accidents over and over, and I realized, well, you know, this is kind of wasting time. Like, I could just do better by making a single video that covers everything that has to do with this accident. And so I did, and that's how What Really Happened was born, and it's just kind of expanded from there. That original series debunked, it's gone. It's been replaced with Theme Park Nonsense, which is just a bit more of a respectful way of communicating the same sort of idea. But yeah, that's the story. Could a better use of CAD earlier on have saved Arrow? Possibly. They just needed to watch the Legacy of Aerodynamics documentary. It'll tell you all you need to know. But really, I mean, they were just stuck in their old ways as far as design. Not even just design software, but design itself. The idea that every element is going to be like prefabricated, copy paste, and then you know, moved on to a ride. It just didn't work. They needed a new philosophy, a new design plan, and unfortunately, by the time they kind of realized that, it was far too late. All their legacy people had left the company, and well, you know, it's truthfully, Arrow is more of a name by the time it was dissolved than anything. All the people that worked there at the time that Arrow was dissolved moved on to other like roller coaster theme park companies. So It's not really like they really died. They really just kind of dissolved. So I wouldn't be too sad over it. It's not the end of the world. Not even really the end of Arrow. Alright. Guess I still work at Cedar Point for Six Flags. Thoughts on King Dakar Sudden Closure? Well, I mean, what can I say? Intamins have a 20-year life. This has been shown many a times. King Dakar would have turned 20 next year, so I can't say I'm surprised, but it is what it is. Again, I never was much of a King Dakar fan, so I'll be happily riding TT2 next year. Favorite and least favorite arrow? Favorite arrow is easy, that's Magnum. Least favorite arrow, it's hard to say as someone that really likes arrows. Another close favorite would be Vortex. That was a sad loss. I was much more sad about that than King Dakar. Probably least favorite. Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Maybe Cedar Creek Mine Ride. I'll try and pick a non-Cedar Point one, make it a little bit differentiated. Let's say, oh, I'm gonna get some hate for this. Tennessee Tornado is not a very good arrow because it doesn't ride like an arrow. So it's a good ride though, so it's hard to say. But I would put that one near the bottom of the list. Corkscrew comes to mind. Dive coasters. Oh, easy. Favorite dive coaster is Griffin. That ride is amazing. It is so good. If you've only ridden Valraven and you think dive coasters suck, then you've never ridden a dive coaster because Valraven is garbage compared to the rest of them. Alright, nice simple thing like that ought to get us done there. Let's do the side friction wheels, which are quite hard to see in our little diagram here, little reference image. So we're going to kind of ad-lib it a little bit, make something close enough. What's the next problematic roller coasters from El Toro Orion? I have no idea. I'm not El Toro Orion. I apologize. Carolina Cyclone, that is a nice ride. I am a big fan, especially since it got its refurbishment. Big fan. Nothing against Carolina Cyclone. Do these side frictions have wheel covers? It looks kind of like it. We might just say they don't for simplicity. Again, who's gonna see these? These are pretty hidden in the animation. Can honestly probably get away without them entirely. Scale these down considerably, and I think our upstops might actually be our biggest wheels on this. It might actually just be the same size as the road wheels, which, hey, works for me. It's less modeling. It's a little thicker. There we go. I think that gets our idea across there. Does Rod have two upstop or side frictions? Zooming in on a different reference image here off screen. Looks like yes. Dang. Wonder if we can reuse this. Let's see what we can do here. Honestly, probably should have not merged all these parts. Thicken this. You know what? That's not half bad. Should really name my pieces here. All right, back to the old stream chat here. Let's see what's going on. Favorite B&M hypercoasters. Mako. Mako is my second favorite coaster, period. That ride is incredible. So yeah, Mako, pretty far and away. I will say there used to be times I would say that there were some B&M hypercoasters I didn't like. Diamondback Kings Island comes to mind, and Intimidator Carowinds. Yeah, that time has come and passed. Those rides, every single one of them is awesome. How do you set up Snap to Grid in Blender? Ha! I will say I've been playing some Planet Coaster 2, and it's kind of frustrating coming from using Blender. I'm almost kind of tempted to just say I'm done with it and not mess with it, because it's just not, you don't have as much flexibility. That is not what I meant to do. Although I will say, significantly easier. Actually, we'll just save ourselves a little time here, because I'm going to delete this altogether. Oh god, no. That was almost a disaster. Alright. Oh crap. Too many vertices selected. There we go. Alright, how do I want to make this connect? What if modern coasters all have outside running side friction wheels? I don't know, just the trend. I mean, there's got to be some with inside side frictions, but it's rare just because that's how the track design is. I don't know if it's potentially easier to model G-forces around. RMCs have it on the inside. Oh god, stop playing with freaking timeline. We'll do that later. RMCs have it on the inside. Well, the hybrids do. It's probably just easier to model around. Yeah, goodbye finally to Six Flags New Orleans. It's about darn time. Since Oblivion, why dive coasters have rubber wheels? Dive coasters do not have rubber wheels, at least not Valraven. When does Dark Ride College open? I don't know. I have to care more about dark rides. I'm sure I will at some point. But who knows? Let's make this really slightly better. I'm gonna fuck up my geometry in doing this, but it'll look a little bit neater, especially because we're gonna reuse this piece, I imagine, on our upstop wheels, which will get a little bit more screen time. Alright, time to add the old solidify. Make this a little thicker. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I forgot. Well, that's kind of awful looking. Cancel that. Oh well, it can be thinner. We'll make it work. Easier to inspect? Yeah, that's definitely a good point as to why they'd have them on the outside. I am building a 4D coaster, so it's not any particular 4D coaster, but all my reference images are coming from X/X2, so I would say it is most close to that. But again, technically, we're not looking at a specific attraction here. Alright, let's get a piece here. Our connection. Something like that ought to do. Make this a little taller. Move that over just here. I will just do this. We'll bevel this. Actually, before I do that, let me move this out just a tad. There we go. Probably putting more details into this than we absolutely need, but yeah, who cares? That did not go as planned. Let me do this. There we go. I think that gets our connection there. Slingshots are overpriced. $20 per ride. Yeah, and you can't have single riders, so it's really $40 per ride usually. Of course, I did hear about the Loch Ness Monster retrack. I have not ridden it since the retrack. That's another arrow that I would say is high up there on the liked list. That is a fantastic attraction. I appreciate it, Velocity Rides. I will pass that on as my roommate that runs that, but I do assist with it, so thank you very much. Who knows, maybe we'll recycle this 4D track for that. And the Slingshot College open. Slingshot College is completed. The course is closed. There's a playlist on my channel with everything you could want to know about slingshot rides and their accidents. I literally do not know of a single thing slingshot rides I could still cover. At this point, pretty much touched everything, which is fine with me because I literally have nothing else to cover with them. Trust me, if there was more to cover, I'd cover them because they are very, very popular, and those videos get a lot of views. But I don't think there's anything left to talk about with them. PAX designed a 4D coaster? I've never heard of that. Really? Tell me more. Drop Tower College. Alright, we're getting a little uncreative with the naming convention here. Alright, let's look at these wheel assemblies here. Let's do these upstops, and then we'll start working on the 4D mechanism itself. Oh, well, that's useful. Oh my god. Are you touching that? Yes. Not vibing with this song. Let's go ahead and skip. Worst roller coaster period? The worst roller coaster I can say I've ridden is probably Nighthawk at Carowinds. That ride was pretty bad. Wild Mouse at Cedar Point. Fantastic ride. I followed the construction from before it was announced to literally when it opened. Very much like that ride. Fantastic. Now, I also did something similar with Top Thrill 2, which that was cool. I got to ride that ride on April. I have the receipt for the locker for somewhere. It was before the previews for the public started. I was probably within the first 1,000 or so riders. So very cool. Rode it twice and just figured, oh yeah, I'll ride it in a couple weeks. Well, that didn't happen. So I'm only getting to ride it twice, but very, very cool ride. Excited to ride it next year. Never thought at 21 I'd spend my nights nerding out on a coaster stream. Glad I did this instead of other things. Yeah, exactly, Connor. There's a lot worse things you could do. I never thought at 23 I'd be live streaming, animating or modeling a 4D coaster just because with my Friday nights. But you know what? Could be, wasting my life away getting drunk, so not half bad. Let's see. Ever hear Fun Spot Parks getting new flat rides? I did hear about that. I'm not really too familiar with the details on them, but it'd be neat. PAX 4D is a shuttle coaster. Tried very hard to find on English version of the website. Russian version has more details. Interesting. Was it built? Yeah, suspended coasters are cool. I think there's something about S&S remaking them, but they're not really in demand because they don't really do anything special. But they are very neat, and I don't think the ones that are still around... Oh, okay. I don't think Iron Dragon's going to go anywhere. I don't think Vampire at Chessington's going to go anywhere unless that park does. So those two at least are pretty safe. Iron Dragon is about as good as it gets from a riders per amount spent to own and maintain a ride as you can get. So I don't think that ride's going anywhere anytime soon. It's still very popular. And in fact, it might have a bigger queue next year because the stage is going to be gone, but we'll see. I have no details on that. That's just an observation based on the animation. So I could see it. It definitely utilizes it because that is a very popular attraction. All right. Let's just, if we do this, how screwed up is it going to make our geometry? Moderately screwed up. Quite screwed up. Let's, you know what? Let's just start with this. This is a bit better use for this. Oh my god. Oh. Did I rename that track? Oops. PAX also makes space equipment? What do you mean by space equipment? Put Celebration Plaza, the boardwalk? I doubt it. Just because you need a big outdoor stage like that. One, I imagine that the stage itself would be demolished. But two, I mean, the thing with the shows on that stage as it stands is, you know, they're really made for everybody. They're made to get a crowd. So they're really not a good fit to have tucked away somewhere. Like on the boardwalk where it's a little bit harder for people to get to. Yes, you have boardwalk nights, which draws people over there, but it just doesn't make as much sense, I guess. In my opinion, I would... Oh, that was weird. I would definitely expect it somewhere not there if it's anywhere next year. I'll stop doing this. But I would definitely imagine the current stage being demolished and then them starting over. Ah. Yeah, your links will probably get blocked. Coaster Peak. Oh, Connor, go apply. Amusement parks are absolutely taking anyone in the live entertainment department. Lots of live entertainment roles available. So check it out. You might find a dream job. I know plenty of people at Cedar Point involved. It's a cool industry to work in. Definitely could do it. Especially on the tech side. So if you're good with that, definitely that is in demand. Let's turn back on our things here. I think we're just about good with this wheel assembly here. I think this gets the job done. We'll just add a little connection here. I'm not going to join these pieces yet because we may reuse them. Yeah. You'd be surprised, Connor. You can probably do something seasonally. So during the summer. No, that didn't work as planned. I wonder if, what if I did this? This is just a shot in the dark here. No, not. Oh, that just about is what we want. Actually, oh man, that worked better than I could have hoped. Cool. Alright, I think we got our main wheel assembly done here. It's not perfect, but we're not going for perfect. Walking around with the merch. I don't know, Velocity Rides. Not many people have bought it. I've actually been kind of surprised. Not that I really am that fussed about it. It's really just for fun that it exists in the first place. But only one sale so far, which is shocking. I want to do ceremonies again next year. I would bet if there's one celebration stage show that lives on in some way, it would be opening ceremonies. That is like the #1 thing from that stage. Just sad because, alright, well, this year was actually pretty good, but previous years it's been one of the worst shows on the stage, in my opinion. You're going to add Siren's Purse theming to Cutthroat Cove. I have not heard that, but I now that you say it, it makes sense. I guess I could see it. I just want to confirm that everything's going well stream quality wise. YouTube's giving me a little warning, so as long as you guys are okay, then I'm not going to care about it. But if you guys say anything, let me know if you see anything wrong with the stream or the quality. Hello, Potato Dog. Alright. Well, it's about time we do our 4D mechanism here. So that does not have side friction wheels, just has a connector directly going to it, which we could probably do fairly easily. And then it's got some smaller wheels for the actual assembly connected to it up here. So I guess I can show you guys the idea here. So this is the wheel assembly itself on the 4D rail. Looks like for our 4D rail is a little bit smaller, so I'll have to do a little scaling. Connects wheel assembly here. It doesn't have side friction because it's not actually supporting the weight of the train. On top of it, there's a rod that goes up into the train itself, up here, and then that connects to a gear that actually spins the train, the seats on the train. So you just got to recreate that. How hard could it be? Probably get started with this, and then we'll go to the seats. Surprised how good the rally was. Yes. Yeah, pretty funny timing with the rally. The fact that That show ran the entire duration of the time the ride was not operational, that it was themed after. But it was a very good show, definitely better than Pep Rally, which it replaced. But, you know, I would say it's pretty good. Wouldn't put it in my top 10 shows or anything, but it was enjoyable. Pep Rally was not, so that's a big win. All right, let's do our here. So what if we just copied our upstops? Because I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty close. Yeah, that could work. I do some recoloring here. Oh god. This is awful. Let me go this way. That's a little better. Problem is because we're viewing at infinity and the rail is waving up and down. Dude, are those not perfectly even? Oh my god, that's... Oh, I know what it is. The track is not perfectly even. That's fine. We'll fix that later on. Where Arrow didn't go bankrupt, I don't think the world would be all that different. Because, I mean, they probably would have invented the hybrid coaster, and it would just be called Arrow Hybrid Coaster instead of RMC. It's probably how different the world would be. Alright, so let me pull up another reference image here. Figure out a little bit more how the seat works. If I can find a good image. I just need to see how the pieces of the seat and the rod from this mechanism kind of match up and where they're at in the train. Man, there are really not a lot of good photos of this ride. Oh, here's one from Six Flags themselves. Let me move this in for a reference image for you guys. There we go. Verbalized version of the PAX 40 coaster if anyone wants to look. Hey, PAX 40 coaster can be a topic of another day. That sounds absolutely fascinating. Oh my god, that is not what I meant to do. Alright, I can probably move this off to the side for now. I don't think we're gonna need it for a second. Scale this bad boy up. Oh boy. Alright, so that gives us some idea here of how the pieces interact. You can see down here is our upstop, or not our upstop, our wheel assembly itself riding on the 4D rail. Goes into the train itself. We got a gear just behind here, which actually connects to the seat itself. Now, I'm trying to see if there's any toothing. It looks like there might be toothing there. So, I guess it directly interacts with the seat here, is my guess. Yeah, friend said X2's the only coaster where they were scared. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it. I cannot wait to get on that ride someday. I think maybe next year will be the year, but highly anticipating that ride. B&M should revive the 4D coaster. Sure. They do it right, they do it reliably. But they got a patent from Arrow / now SNS they would have to contend with, which would be kind of hard to bring it back that way. Not that it can't be done. This here, get our both wheels, that'll do. And we'll make a little connector for them. Actually, I have to scale these down. Scale both of them down. Probably should have done that before I copied them. Don't want to join these just yet, in case we end up modifying this. That'll do there. And then our connection point is pretty simple, just a little wraparound metal piece there. Kind of want to see if we can reuse this. Bet you we can. Oh, 175. Make this look a little bit less disgusting in a second. Get the size right. About there. Oh. Oh my god, can you please just work? Thanks. Is it actually merging? Yes, okay. Other coaster model news. Yes, I did see that. And Coaster Peak, I thought that coaster was completely new. I guess I just completely missed the announcement last year for it because I was like, oh, look, new coaster model. Nope, not new. Yeah, oh well. But yeah, no, it looks alright. I doubt anyone's going to ever buy it just because S&S and yeah. I don't think it'll ever get built, but it does look neat. Looks all right. Well, we successfully saved ourselves some time here with this one. Yeah, S&S is an interesting company. I'm not going to IAAPA this year. Previously mentioned roommate is a show ambassador there this year. So he is there right now, actually. Just moved into the hotel for being a show ambassador. Which is cool. I think that's something that's on my radar to do at some point. But no, I'm not going this year. So I will not be doing anything down there, which is fine. I've gone the last 3 years. And as cool as it is, there's a certain point where it's like, well, what's so different from this year versus last year? I think Falcon Flight will ever run successfully. I'm not convinced. Top Thrill 2 was, judging by APA, a bit of a better engineered ride. Quite a bit better engineered ride, and well, we see how that thing's doing, so I am not convinced it will be consistent, but I mean, it sounds like the plans for that park are really just to operate at night, so it shouldn't have as many heating issues as I would have expected, but I mean, it's not gonna be smooth, I don't imagine. I don't mean smooth versus like rough, but like, oh, not like that. But I mean just smooth in terms of reliability. Train also has a massive design flaw. Every time you get out of it, you whack your head on the windshield because the windshield goes like directly in front of where you need to like exit the train. It was very awkward with Sandor Koenig standing there and you getting in the train, getting out of the train, and you know, you stand up and you just hear donk, and you whack your head on the freaking fiberglass. Sand getting into the track and screwing around with it, yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, just cool. Your name is Orion, and there's a coaster named Orion. There's also a constellation named Orion, which is what the coaster's named after. All this for a city designed around Formula One tourism, yeah. Indians on the name Yoy. I saw that got announced and I started laughing. I was like, I mean, surely there's like, that makes more sense if you like are not an English speaker. I'm sure. Like, that's the only explanation I can think of in my head anyway. So, yes, interesting for sure. I guess it could be worse, but it could be a heck of a lot better. Alright, this 4D mechanism is going to get a little funky. We're also going to have to do something weird with the animation for it because it's got to follow this curve right here. Which is totally doable. I'll show you guys actually another project I've got working on, so we'll save this and we will open this. So another project I'm kind of working on is I'm trying to make the most realistic recreation of a ride in 3D software ever. Now this is going to be a long project, but it's based on Kumba, which I think you can tell by this. The layout's actually taken, you can export these layouts from No Limits into Blender, which is very, very cool. A lot of options. It would help if I understood No Limits a little bit more, because it's probably easier to model a coaster in No Limits than in Blender, but all my previous ones like Wild Mouse and Bullet Coaster and Lisa Bergbahn and everything there has been done entirely in Blender. So this is pulled from No Limits, but obviously the track model is mine. The currently working on the catwalks, it's all mine. So this will be a project you'll probably see over the next several months, maybe even years. I'm going to try and make photorealistic renders where you can go into this and basically have a fully functioning coaster to screw around with, and everything on it works. And you know, I'm going to make chain work and rollbacks work, every part of the train work. It'll be quite the project, but yeah, that's for another day. Go back to our 4D. I'm excited for Six Flags Qiddiya. I'm excited to see what they'll do. Their general manager, or soon-to-be general manager, was at Cedar Point a couple weeks ago, getting some tips. So they also stopped at, I believe, Magic Mountain and Knott's. So they're getting all the insider knowledge they can, which makes sense. They're going into quite the park, but that park is not actually all that big. They just have some big rides, by how it seems anyway. Park itself only has like 30 something rides. They're just all record breaking. Yeah, I used to prefer Montu a little bit more. I think I'm Team Kumba at this point though. That is a fantastic ride. I'll be sad the day that closes. We know it's coming. Don't know how tall I need to make this yet, but we'll just make it taller than it needs to be for now. Let's make a wheel cutout. And chat, you're not being real active tonight. Similar to Yo-Yo and Dutch. So yeah, it makes a little bit more sense. I mean, not all roller coaster names need to be mean, you know. It can be, you can have fun. I would say that Yoi is probably fun. It's just not fun that I understand. Screw up that geometry. No, that's because we're making it wider. We can fix that because we're going to thin this out. Something like that will do. It's rumored Fun Spot's removing their Enterprise ride. That's sad. That's a nice Enterprise too. It's a Schwarzkopf. I think that would leave, at least on the East Coast anyway, just Carowinds with a Schwarzkopf Enterprise. Which again, very sad. Alright, liking this so far. Well, the question is, how photorealistic do we want this to be? So let's make, before I go any further with this, let's make our ride vehicle seats themselves. Sudden Frontier Fling removal. It was very saddening. I had heard some rumors before, so I did go ahead and get a last ride in on it. But yeah, it's sad. That was a very cool ride. Well placed in the park, but opening up a lot of space, so exciting stuff there. Park claims it's pronounced joy. That's funny. Of all names. Why choose one that is purposely confusing? Alright, so we'll add teeth to this in a second. Let's get this ride vehicle going here. So this is gonna be complex. I'm not doing restraints on this. It's already gonna be a pain enough. Start by copying this. This is kind of what we need to start with. I also simply need to make this wider. Oh, this is gonna get ugly. Drag it with a little bit. Ooh. We're all right there. I don't want to go any further than that. Yeah, Forbidden Frontier space available. You got the 2 removed rides. Not liking out of Cedar Hill, so Six Flags are removing rides without stating it advanced. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It would be nice to have an announcement for sure, but it's important to remember that there is a lot of work that is going to be going on for these legacy Six Flags parks in the next few years. So I don't blame them for wanting to get right to it. Not wanting to waste any time because there is a lot to do. I mean, they've already announced they're adding $1 billion worth of capital, mostly to these old Six Flags parks, and a lot of that stuff is not glamorous new coasters. It's things like infrastructure, your park midways, getting rid of asphalt, removing cracked paths, adding landscaping. Things that the Six Flags Legacy Parks have been missing for a long time. Wouldn't be any major changes to the parks this year. Well, you know what? They're right in terms of season passes and, you know, day-to-day experience, but in terms of rides, that is true. There have been a few major changes. Who I think will manufacture a King to Kong replacement? I have no idea. I would like to see mock rides, but it could be, I mean, literally we don't even know what type of coaster we're potentially looking at here, so we're quite advanced from that, I would say. But I think if I were to be selective, I would like mock rides, but not up to me. I don't imagine it will have anything to do with Intamin, though. 400-foot mock spinner. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very, very cool. I don't know if you guys have been on one, but I've only done Time Traveler, but that was a kick-butt ride. That is an awesome attraction. So, if it's anything like Time Traveler, it will be pretty darn good. something like that seems to be somewhat like our connection point here, and then this is hidden in the train. I've not done Ride to Happiness. That is high up on the priority list. Alex from Flat Ride of the Week talks about it quite a bit, and it is high up on my priorities. I have quite a few friends who have been over there and ridden it as well, and the reviews are pretty glowing. So again, high priority attraction there, but don't know when I'll get over there to actually ride it, but it is on my bucket list. Have to add a little bit of texture in the form of like bolts to this, make it look a little bit nicer. I really don't want to do that. Ask Alex if he's going to help work on Flat Ride Friday. I have asked Alex if he wants to help with it. He is always invited to help with it, but I know he's got a very busy life. When we started Flat Ride of the Week, I was in a gap year from college, and he was in high school. So both of us had a lot less going on. At this point, he is fully in higher education, and I just recently graduated. So he does not have all that much free time, and truthfully, neither do I, but I have more than I used to. So he's always invited to come back, but I respect his availability. Those Flat Ride of the Week episodes do not really make money. They're really there more for fun than anything, especially compared to other videos. They really aren't profitable, which is fine. I'm happy to make them, but you know, it's not like me or Alex is really getting paid. So it's a hard sell. Alright, so from here, looks like we've got some kind of like attachment to this that goes behind the seats. We can model that. Great Adventure will get an RMC, maybe. I don't know. Remember, this is Cedar Fair in charge, so they're not really buying RMCs before. It's going to make them buy them now, but stranger things have happened, I guess. I do think we need to offset this a little bit. So I think we need to move this back a little bit. Like that. I think we just need to move our wheel assembly here back a little ways. Oop. Gotta keep in mind that has to mesh with this, with gears on here. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna get a new engine. Coming together. We will be mirroring this so that way we have it on both sides. Favorite Intamin. Well, as you guys know, I'm not much of an Intamin fanboy. In fact, I really don't like Intamin rides, but there are two Intamin rides that I would say are very, very good. One of them is El Toro. That is a wonderful attraction. And the other one is Infinity Falls. That is my top two Intamins. Infinity Falls is the only water-based theme park ride that I've gotten airtime on. I was gonna say water ride with airtime, but there are a few ProSlides that have that distinction as well. But for water-based theme park attraction and not water park attraction, yeah, 100% Infinity Falls and El Toro. All right, how much more do I want to do with this? Let's go and see if we can reuse some assets. Let's open. Hold on here. See if I can find it. Where is my root? We need. I'm trying to think of a good ride where I've done seats that I can copy from. I'm thinking Scream, Longshin Park, but I'm trying to think if there's any others. Mine Train, nope. First Bungee, Roller Coaster, nope. Man, where is my files? Also not Water Coaster. No, maybe not. I don't know where this file went. I did have to reset my entire PC recently. Favorite premiere ride? Oh, Revenge of the Mummy. You already mentioned it. That's up there. I also quite like the Flight of Figure clones. So either of those. Wilderness Run is indeed an Intamin. Yeah, Revenge of the Mummy is very good. High up on the list. Haha, there we go. All right. Let's go to frame 0 here. What do we think? We think I can reuse this asset? I bet you we can find a way to. Oh my god, it's massive. Oh my god, we got the whole arm. It's because it's parented. Alright. Here we go. As a ProSlide fanboy, I am kind of, honestly. So, story with ProSlide. I went to IAPA 3 times in my life. And each time I've kind of just wandered over near the ProSlide booth. And first time I went, I knew literally squat about water slide. Literally nothing. And they were so friendly. Oh my god. I literally was just there because I was looking at the cool models that they had placed out there. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. Like this model. And they're like, oh yeah, it's this, and this. And they start explaining how water coasters work. And I'm like, no way, that's so cool. You know, explain the block zones and everything. Got into a big conversation about capacity. And either way, like, talk to the guy probably an hour and a half. He gives me this giant book on like all things ProSlide. I still have it. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, oh yeah, if you ever need anything, here's my business card. I'm the CEO. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, ProSlide's awesome. Ton told him, you know what, if I'm ever in the position to buy a water slide, ProSlide is at the top of my priority list, because that is sweet company. But anyway, they were very, very fun to talk to, and I've ridden quite a few of their slides now, and I gotta be honest, them and the whitewater slides, you really can't tell a difference, but they're very good, so no complaints. All right, what do we think here? Can I possibly reuse these as 4D coaster seats? I think we got a shot. I just need to get like the model of the seat itself and then just start over from there. Ever had a Chinese-made booster? No. Well, okay. Made by Jinma? Sure, absolutely. Made by just about anyone else? No. This will be tough because these are doubled up. Just need one seat. That. We're still missing. We got too much. Oh, this is going to be messy. Maybe better off just modeling this from scratch. So I don't even fully know what parts I need and don't need anyway. Let's try this. We might be able to work with that. Yeah, I think we can make that work. We can delete the rest of this. Obviously, we'll do some recoloring. I've not ridden a Zack Spin. That's on the list of a thing I need to ride, but unfortunately I never got out to Magic Mountain when they still had theirs. It doesn't sound like I really missed much. And sounds like it's not reopening. So, yeah, who knows? Sure, when I eventually end up in Europe, I'll get to ride one. I don't know if we want all this green trim. Might be able to start from scratch there. Yeah, I don't think we really do. Just looking at the seats, it looks like this is gonna look kind of bad. Just reuse this black part. Get rid of the green. Let's separate the material. Delete this and that. And that is kind of what we want. I think we might be able to get away with using that, but we're kind of pushing it. Able to ride a KMG XXL this year? I was not, unfortunately. I didn't unfortunately get to any shows where it was at, but it is one of those rides I definitely need to ride soon. Although I do have very little fear of it going anywhere anytime soon. It's kind of a weird reflection. So that's good at least. I mean, it's a popular ride type and it's getting built still, so that's good. Alright. So we got our seat backing here. We'll keep this. We'll add a little base blue and then we'll connect it to a metal frame and we'll call it there. So it sits relative to that kind of back here. I don't want to make this at an angle, even though it would look better, because it's going to get way more convoluted to try and model. So we'll leave that as is. Yeah, Green Lantern, that could have been quite the nice ride, but sounds like it was just modified out of being potentially good. Oh, there's an accident on it. Need to cover it. I keep adding it to the list and then kind of forgetting about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to cover that, and forget about it again. Alright, so we got this plastic shroud here, which I imagine is for the clearance envelope. In fact, that's exactly what it looks like. keep people's legs away from the 4D rail and wheel assembly. I have to make something like that. That's going to be pretty hard because it's a very dynamic shape, but we can definitely make something. Let's start with a cylinder. Bring that back and change our vertices. We're gonna cut this thing way down. Oh, nice. Butler Amusements finished their RxXL. That's great. More of those things on the road is definitely good. All right, let's cut this down to like 8. Make it more manageable. So it looks like we go slightly above the seats. And then slightly below, well, kind of near where the wheel assembly is. Didn't chain roll back on its lift hill? Not sure. Never heard about it. But I'm sure it's happened. Well, not sure it's happened, but I believe that it happened. Something like that. Shape-wise. Pull this out. King XXL is your favorite flat ride? Yeah. Including coasters. Oh, favorite ride including coasters. Yeah, I can believe it. Those rides really do look awesome. Between the airtime and the positive forces, having done the smaller KMG rides, they're pretty awesome on their own. So I can't imagine what a giant equivalent version would be. How intense it would be. Anyone driven bumper cars? Yes. That's a simple enough question. Here, flat ride, a sky coaster, fun spot, Kissimmee. Yeah, that's a good ride. No disrespect there. Oh, fuck. What did I do with the geometry here? Oh, it's this back one. Why? Why must I suffer? Come on. Just make this easy. Will that be close enough? Is that perceptible to the eye that is? Oh god, what did we do? Ah, that'll do the trick there. Cool. Alright, let's move this back slightly. Just want to see that so I have a reference. Seats are pretty much right next to this little center of rotation, which makes sense. We want to rotate people on a heart line. Fun part of this is like I'm actively like learning how a 4D coaster works while I tell people how a 4D coaster works. Real qualified. This is a pretty smooth top here. Pull this back just a hair. There we go. Looks pretty close to our clearance shield here. I think we're in the right shape there. Effectively blocking the important part of the wheels here. After Red Monster, dude, that is an April Fool's 2022 joke right there. I give you dedication to the channel for catching that one. That's pretty impressive. You had to make me think there. It's been so long since that video. Quite proud of the legacy of April Fool's jokes on this channel. There's one that was deleted. We won't talk about that one, but the rest are still there. And a playlist. You can view them now. There we go. I think we're looking good here. Let's, before I make the geometry any more funky, let's go ahead and extrude this bad boy so we can get our three-dimensional shield here. Oh my. Oh my. That is not really how I wanted that to go. I'm gonna be honest. Looking at this, let's do this instead. So it's not flat. Something kind of like that. Yeah, there we go. And then pull this out a tiny bit, and then maybe I like what you did for Fools this year. Thank you. I don't operate any rides at Cedar Point anymore, Velocity Rides. I work in a different department, but it's all about following different opportunities and things like that. So I do still work very closely with our ride operations team and managers actually quite a bit. So it's still a good time. I would never be against going back to it, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things. What are you going to do if you go to Cedar Point to work? You're going to be a ride operator. And so that's where the most people are competing for the full-time positions for anything, you know, higher level. And so ultimately, while it is very fun, very cool place to work, cool environment, great people, it's not a place I opted to stay in long term. Would you ever be a Screamster? I think it'd be fun. I'd do it for a night. I would never want to do it more than that, just because I think I know I wouldn't get bored of it, but it's not really my thing. But I gotta be honest, I think the best thing to do would be to do every job in the park once. That just sounds like an absolute blast. Food and beverage is on my radar for the next thing to kind of try. You know, I know for Hall weekends they sometimes need help with that. Obviously, I was working this Hall weekends in my home department, but maybe in the future, another time, I would be happy to do it. Favorite Vekoma ride? I haven't been on too many Vekomas. Certainly not any really good new Vekomas. I haven't even been on Big Bear Mountain yet. I did enjoy the new one at Kings Island. I rode that this year. Quite a fan, but obviously that's more of a kids-focused ride. I would say, this is going to sound dumb, T3. Traffic person. Now that's a good job. Yeah, scare actors certainly do get punched. that is a thing. Now, they do tend to get justice, but they do get punched. Alright, let's add... What do I want to do here? Let's bevel all of these. Actually... No, wait, let's... No. What can I do with this? this work? No, that's not working out as I intended. Let's do a subdivision surface. There we go. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's more the organic shape we're kind of going for with this. A little short, so let's play with this a little bit. Currently in my 3rd off-season as a lifeguard at Castaway Bay. Congratulations. Yeah, that's getting the shape we kind of want for this guy, not guide, this blocker here. All right, I think that gets what we want out of this. And chat, you guys were more active on like that random Wednesday I decided to stream than today. Alright, let's add ourselves a sphere to make the make this even simpler. We're gonna go for like 6 sides. Make ourselves a this plastic piece down here. Make that. Obviously, we're gonna need this thinner, but this is more just to get an idea. Let's go ahead and array this. We have 2 of these. Nope. Oh my god. Could not have guessed more wrong in my life. There we go. And the seats, yeah, they're not right next to each other, so let's make this a little bit wider. 1.2. Maybe a little more. Let's go 1.5. Yeah, I think that's what we want right about there. Yeah, let's do 1.4. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of what we need there. Squish this together just a little bit. It's another kind of organic shape. We'll probably go ahead and just subdivision surface modify this. Yeah, I didn't make an announcement for this one. That is true. I did make a post for channel members, but I understand that's like 6 people, so. How's this plastic? Okay, this is connected to a metal frame that goes around the outside of the seats. That is a valid point. Only lack of an announcement. Just call me Six Flags Great Adventure. That might be too soon. make a bluish texture for this, bluish plastic. Maybe kind of that blue of the seat there. And we'll go with that color for now. We'll take this roughness down, and then we'll put a clear coat on it. There we go. That's getting kind of what we need. Maybe a little bit of a darker blue. Yeah, that's getting where we need it. Yeah, but velocity rides, you do have to keep in mind business-wise, keeping that ride operating for a year was not free. It would have been quite expensive, I'm sure. You know, I'm not saying one way or the other what they should have or shouldn't have done, but there is a fair argument in the side of it really wasn't viable to keep operating the ride in its current state configuration. And also keep in mind, I mean, the ridership on it for all those years, it really did not do many. It had an extra year on Top Thrill Dragster and had less riders, which is pretty wild. El Toro Fanboy 0145, your chats are now going through. I don't know what was happening, but they are now working. Park should remove scare actors from the midway and only have them into haunted houses. You know, it's kind of been a trend in recent years that I can say has been a industry-wide. Some people would agree, some people would not. A lot of guests have come to kind of expect scare actors on the midway from haunt events and equivalents. So I think having it in a portion of the park, oh my god, what the hell was that? Having it in a specific area of the park is a good alternative to that. So that way you can have it in, you know, your front half or your back half of the park and have the rest of the park free from it, so people who don't like it don't have to get involved. Dude, what the hell is this shaping? There's gonna be some screwed up geometry. There we go. Yeah, Cobb was not doing well ridership-wise. Now, I don't think that was entirely people not wanting to ride it. There is a certain element with your strata coaster type rides of, you know, they're not for everybody. There is a significant section of the park population that will never ride a ride like that. But I think the reason for the lack of ridership had more to do with the downtime and the capacity of the ride. But, you know, I wouldn't say it wasn't popular. You know, like any ride that ever closes, you get a lot of, oh my god, that's disgusting. Be simple. Oh, that's not helping us. You get a lot of, oh my god, that's actually kind of what we want, but it's actually really what we want other than this freaking ugly ass cube. But you get a lot of people, you know, when a ride gets announced that it's closing, they're like, oh my god, that was my favorite ride, when, you know, 1 month before it they would have told you they hate that ride and couldn't care less about it. You see that quite frequently, and that's certainly the case with Kingda Ka, but you know, its ridership was never that fantastic. Why can I not select these nodes? Because it's so yeah, I mean, it was alright, it was popular enough, but it was not ridership wise, it was not all that great. Had a lot to do with downtime though. Alright, we're gonna simply go back to the drawing board with this. How many undo steps can we do before we run out of RAM? Quite a few. Ha, just enough. Wonderful. Did TTT or TTD get more? Yes, quite a bit more. I don't have the exact figures in front of me, but I believe it was around 18 million for Top Thrill Dragster, compared to what was it, 11 million for Kingda Ka. So I mean, a considerable amount more given the time frame, especially. Subdivision surface. Yeah, there we go. That's more or less the shape we want. Let me actually add it. Add the same thing to the side over here. Dude, today we are playing with subdivision surface modifier. That should be the new name of the stream because it is saving our butts here. And back to subdivision surface. Ah, yeah, that's pretty gorgeous right there. Yeah, Top Thrill had a lot of downtime too, but both, yeah, you know, this render's not going to have that much. We're just going to go all in on the subdivides. How much geometry are we about to create? Well, that much. Well, oh well. Gets the job done. It looks pretty darn good, honestly. What if we... This is going to be a bad idea. You know what? I don't hate it. If we can... We still have our... Yeah, array's still on here. We don't have to modify it twice. We could just move this backing over a little ways. Holy geometry. Let's move these back. And let's turn this off for a second. All right. You know what? That right there is just about what we want. I will take it. I will take that. That just looks gorgeous. That blue plastic came out so nice. That is like exactly the shape we need. God, I should really redo these seats because they are not stacking up to that. Damn. Yes, we are geometrying the hell out of this. So I think this is gonna be a simple render because if I had to do more than 2 of these, we'd be chugging along. But hey, it looks good. All right, we gotta change our thing here, our array modifier. Let's move these back into place. Oh, look at that 1.0, just about does it. Scoot that forward and maybe up just a hair. All right. Maybe less than that. 0. Let's try 0.5. 0.1 actually is pretty close. Damn, it's still too far to the left. 0.09? Yeah, we're gonna be inching this thing over. Oh my god. Oh god, no. You're kidding. Alright, well that's where we want it. It's 1.001. You freaking kidding me? All right, well that's good. We're looking good there. I think that looks better than that. Yeah, I don't think there's any debate on that one. Cool. That will do there. Let's go ahead and apply these. All right, so we have our seats. Our high geometry plastic. If the animation lags and the face count on that is definitely the reason. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and render a frame here and see how long it takes while streaming. You know, we're really gonna tax it. Oh yeah, that was super quick. We're using EV anyway, so we should be fine. No, I mean, you can talk about the Kingda Ka closure all you want, but I mean, it really boils down to just viability. It's just a ride like that was not being operated in a very consistent or economically practical way, and it really, because of the design of the ride, was never going to. So ultimately, it just made sense to shut it down. You know, and it's one of those things. These Intamin rides generally do have a service life of right around 20 years. You can look at basically any Intamin from the end of the Coaster War time period. They're all either closing or going through a major refurbishment. I mean, even rides like Millennium Force, which are, you know, iconic, completely untouchable, it's going through a major overhaul this off season, because it, you know, it's not perfect anymore. These Intamins don't hold up all that well. They're not Arrows or B&Ms. Really Arrows, I mean, those things last forever. But these Intamins are not that, and they need a lot of work. And ultimately, if a park can't really justify that amount of money to be invested in keeping a ride like that going, it's just going to close. That's unfortunately what happened with Kingda Ka. This is going to be our frame here for which this sits on. Yeah, I definitely think merger or no merger, that ride would not be lasting for a significant amount of time. I think people should be happy because at least the merger means it is going to get replaced with something, I imagine, pretty big. I don't think they'll cheap out on that because it does have such big shoes to fill, whatever does end up replacing Kingda Ka. But I do think merger or no merger, it would have been removed. But I think it is fair to say the merger probably accelerated it a bit, which, you know, you can have your own thoughts on. But I think that is probably accurate. I mean, just guessing, but oh, we did not apply that modifier. Where the hell did the modifier go? Did I remove it? There we go. Scale this up a little bit. Kind of inset this a little bit. A little bit more geometry. Oh, what the hell we got going on here? Delete this face. Oh, not vertices. Actually, what if we just delete all these faces and start fresh? That might honestly just be the easiest for what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, let's check the old chat. Yeah, I have to agree. Maverick was actually a shower thought the other day. I was like, Kingda Ka, early 2000s Intamin. Yeah, makes sense, it's leaving. I'm like, well, Maverick also is an early 2000s Intamin. Coming up on 20 years in the next couple of years here. So, I don't think it'll go anywhere just because it is a pretty well-liked ride. But, it'll probably get something like Millennium Force. We might actually just be able to delete these. It had some unintended consequences. We can delete this. Let's lower this down. Right now this is just 2D. We're going to 3Dify it in a minute. Let's bring this frame a little closer here. Ooh, don't select the track. Go. I'm liking that. All right. Let's go ahead and solidify. There we go. We'll fix that in a second. This needs to cut a little bit less high. There. Yeah, because it should be before the seats. So it's not going to be a perfectly accurate recreation. Yeah, I mean, velocity rides, to be honest, I think the two Intamins that Cedar Point still has are probably here to stay. It's pretty iconic, the track type, I do agree. But I would say the two remaining ones are in decent shape. I guess technically the 3 Thunder's probably not leaving anytime soon either, but who knows? Anything's possible. You gotta have a water ride. You don't have to. There's no rule saying you need to, but it would be nice to keep one. Alright, I'm liking this. Except I don't like this gap between the seats here. Also to keep in mind, though, that these seats are really just for show. We'll leave that as is for right now. Let's punch some holes in it to get it to look more like the actual thing. Cedar Point needs a ProSlide water coaster. Now that I couldn't agree more with. That would be incredible, but I don't foresee it happening just yet. Just given the Cedar Fair / Six Flags company's disdain for ProSlide. I realize they are kind of the Intamin of water ride slides, so I kind of get it, but yeah, it's unfortunate because ProSlides are awesome. I mean, hydromagnetic, you can't beat it. That is such a nice ride experience. I wish Whitewater would do something like it, because we're much more prone to get one of their slides than a ProSlide at this point in time. Dude, what is going on with this geometry? Why? Oh, is it because this is where the subdivision is meeting it, or the solidify is meeting it? Possibly. All right, let's apply this subdivision, or the solidify. God. Go. Let's add some holes in this. I'm gonna tank the computer again by adding quite a bit of geometry to these, because they need to be kind of weird shaped. Oh, we just made a straight up circle. Okay, I need something like this. Yeah, that's too circular. Let's do... What if we... Ah, there we go. Genius. The district at Lagoon. I did see that was announced. That looks very cool. What about that water ride Kings Island is getting next year? That is a whitewater racing water coaster. So, cool. Older technology, though. It uses the Master Blaster technology, which has been out for quite a long time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm happy to see Cedar Fair getting water coasters again. But, I mean, Sandusky had one of the best water coasters, probably. With Zip Coaster at Kalahari, but that's now gone. Which that's Slide's replacement is opening soon, which should be very cool. But had that, but we also have a Master Blaster at Castaway Bay. So kind of have the ride type already in the park, or in the resort at least. So I kind of see why they don't add one, just because of the redundancy there, but you know, that Master Blaster is fairly old at Castaway. It is not a new slide by any means. So I think they definitely would do well with adding an updated version to Shores. You know, even though Whitewater hasn't really changed the base technology of the Master Blaster in all those years, the slide type has advanced. There are several advancements from, you know, when it was new to now, and they could take advantage of, considering that old slide is from, I believe, when Castaway opened in 2004. This is for a video on how 4D coasters work. There's no accident, thankfully. So it's just going to be an in-depth explanation of how they actually work from a technical perspective. So we will be making a little animation for it. There we go. Now we're looking a little bit more like how we want this to. Yeah, I like that. But we do need to expand that all over this RV. Maybe just over on this side, really. Let's get that at the same height. I don't want to screw that up. The Master Blaster shuts itself off. That's pretty funny. I've yet to go over there and ride it. Maybe that'll be something I do this off season. It looks like a very fun slide. Nothing crazy, but fun nonetheless. Formula Rosa's SPNO? Yeah, sounds right. These hydraulic launch coasters were really not the best design for a reliability standpoint, at least. Oh, God. Oh, did I didn't apply the array. You're kidding. It's stupid. Well, that's why that's not moving. Well, easy enough fix then. Lined up the same. I just screwed that up. I'm not really going to be able to do this exact, am I? So I didn't really think about that. Oh well. Get it close enough. At the end of the day, this is not for what really happened, so I really don't care about the animation. Oh, not duplicate as much, but oh my God. Did that work? No. I don't know what the hell I just did, but there we go. Okay, do we have material on this yet? No, let's do train light. There we go. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere with this. I need to add some more depth underneath the seat so they're not floating. I don't think we're going to bother with restraints, so we'll throw that on, and then We just got to really animate this mechanism here. And then we should be good. This is all going to rotate on the axis of this thing here. We'll do a little test for that. Bring that out just a ways. Join these together. I think as far as this frame goes, I really don't feel we need to add anything more. I'll add a little bit of bolstering to this seat here is what I'll do. I really should have done this prior to subdividing this, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta deal with what you got. This could be the messiest geometry you've ever seen. We'll see. Ah, yeah, let's see. How's that actually looking? Ah, yeah, we aced that. Okay, well, that couldn't have gone any better. Let's add some depth to the seat. Use the same method. I was going to do something else, but you know what? This is far easier, so remove this. Oh yeah, we're in good shape. I'll take it. I will take it. No, you should add restraints. So I always wondered how they. I don't want to talk. I don't want to learn how they work. It's true because they do come from the side. See, the thing is, I don't fully know how they work, so that would be. Yeah. I don't know. We're probably gonna veto that idea. All right, let's go ahead and join everything. All right, let's give her a rotate. Oh yeah, dude, we got a 4D coaster. Look at this. It's awesome. Oh, I forgot the shielding. That has to be joined with this as well. Holy shit, we should apply those modifiers first. There we go. And now we got a 4D coaster. Would you look at that? Sweet. Well, we got that done. Now for the mechanical side of this, and then we just gotta mirror some things and we'll have ourselves a 4D coaster car. Appreciate what really happened covering obscure coaster accidents as well as non-roller coaster accidents. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy the obscure ones just as much as I enjoy the mainstream ones. Actually, obscure ones are a little bit better. There's a little bit less pressure on actually making them just because nobody knows about them. The big mainstream ones, you know, everybody knows everything. Yeah, I'm trying to cut down on the swearing on the stream, I'm going to be honest. Anytime I've said it today has been more of an accident than anything, but yeah, no, definitely not in the videos normally. Dude, what happened to our geometry here? Please have enough undo steps built into this. Yeah, there we go. Alright, actually, what did happen here? No explanation? Okay. So still joined. Yes. Cool. Let's do with the shade smooth going on in here. We'll just remove that. No, what? Why are you changing your geometry? If I make you the parent object, will you still? No. Alright, whose shade smooth is throwing this off? Is it this thing? This thing I don't think is being shaded smooth. It just has so much geometry. Alright. There's no modifiers that aren't applied. Oh, this isn't applied. Oh my god, why are you doing that? Well, there's a simple solution. Just parent it. Same result, no distortion. Rewatch the Shoot the Rapids video so much. Thank you. That was a time-consuming episode. I don't know why, because looking back, it's really straightforward. I think I tried to do more research than I needed to, which, you know what? Not a bad thing. But that was a good episode. A lot of work went into it. I actually, annoyingly, after the accident, got hold of a copy of the Shoot the Rapids manual that would have been very, very useful to actually cover the accident with, but I unfortunately did not have it at the time. But yeah, that was a good episode. It's honestly one that could use a redo because I'd be able to animate parts of it now, but truthfully I don't think anyone would care to rewatch that episode just because there's animation in it. I think its popularity has peaked, so. Alright, let's go back to a real cylinder here. Actually, not that. What I really should do is just copy this, because we need this to be in line with that, even though it's not actually going to matter, but my pet peeve will tell me it will. Let's scale this down. Shade this flat. It is being shaded smooth. That's our problem. But, you know, I'm not going to mess with it. Move this here. And not that. Do that. And we will scale this down to essentially be like a rod that is reaching into here. Oh my god, can we... oh, I see your question now. What really happened to this model? Nothing. No accidents that I'm aware of have happened on this specific design of coaster, which is good. This is not for a what really happened video. It's just for a video explaining how this type of ride works. Because there's a lot of those that exist, but this one will have the animation, so it'll be a step above those, ideally. Alright, looking good, and then we need to add a gear to this. Luckily Blender has us covered with that. We can just add one. Nice and easy. And let's, nope, that's not the right 90 degrees. Not 900 degrees. There we go. And let's move this over. Nope, not that. So it's over top of where we're at here, and let's scale this bad boy down. Add a webcam for streaming. I would like to. I actually have a webcam. I literally just disconnected it because I'm no longer in college, so I do not need it anymore. I gave it away, but I could probably get it back. So, maybe an idea. I'm not super keen on it because, I don't know, I never enjoyed webcams, but I consider it. I actually want this thinner. And this angle, I think we can take that to 0. Ooh, maybe not 0. Let's do 10. liking that. It's still too thick. Let's scale that down and this down. Oh. Where's... Should we move this? Nope, we don't need that. Why are we doing this? There we go. We're at our minimum. Well. Oh, why are we like that? What are we doing, Blender? Oh, there we go. Alright, that should get the job done here. Let's reduce the number of teeth just a little bit. Oh my god, dude, I really chose the most compact space possible. Move this over here. There we go. I'm kind of liking that. Okay. I think we got ourselves something here we can work with. Okay. We're not on the center of that, which is fine. We can fix that. We'll have to move this a little bit, but overall, I think we are well on our way to having our animated ride unit here. So once this is done, I'm going to clone this over. In fact, we could probably do that right now real quick before we end this for the night. We're down to only 8 folks watching, so probably about time. A light crowd. Again, that's probably my fault. I don't think we'll need to use the wheel assemblies again. Let me just save a different version. We'll go ahead and save these as... Alright, perfect. Start joining things. Okay, this wheel assembly should be all connected. Yep, we are good. Let's connect it to this. And then... just for kicks so we can get this whole thing kind of done tonight, let's go ahead and parent this to this. So that way, yep, that moves, but we can still individually rotate this bad boy. Yep, cool, cool. Let's also join these and parent that. Here also is going to have to be parented to this. Okay, so now theoretically we should be able to move this piece here. Oh, we forgot something. Forgot our knob here and actually join these two. Now theoretically, be able to move this. Yep, everything moves with, and then should be able to move this up and down so it follows the rail. Yep, and this should be able to rotate. Oh, not like that, but yes, that works. All right, so now theoretically we can do a mirror, and it will have to be probably on the track. And there we go. We now have a 4D coaster on both sides. Probably delete these reference images. At least that one. This one I might keep. Never knew why there are 2 sets of wheel assemblies per side. Yeah, now we know. And again, there'll be a full video on it next Saturday. This is next Saturday's video I'm working on. This Saturday's video is an interesting one involving Chinese rides and roller coasters, so definitely check it out tomorrow, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern time, that is. Should be a very, very nice video. I think you could have wear marks from where the vehicles are on the rails. So that is a great question, and it's something that, yes, I could do. I already know how I'd do it. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but to be honest, it's kind of a lot of work for a simple animation like this. This is really showing technical things of how it works. It's not trying to show a super realistic ride, which we can go ahead and save this. We'll probably call it a night here shortly. But this project here, which we can go ahead and do a little thing on, this Kumba Realism one, we will be doing that. We're going to make this as realistic as humanly possible. So absolutely that is something we can do. But it's not something that I'm going to do on this X2 one or 4D one, just because realism wise it's not really, doesn't really need to be that realistic. But this ride here, I want to be photorealistic eventually. So you know, wear marks on our track is definitely a part of that. So let me see here. No, we're pretty much on the track line. Let's add this. Don't do that. Throw this on real quick before we call it a night. I'll give this a texture in a sec. Or actually real quick. I might have one. No, let me make a new metal texture real quick. This is pretty simple. That roughness down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, maybe have a little bit. Something around there, I think is what we need. All right. And now we'll go ahead and give it an array. In geometry, give this an array, and we'll up the count quite a ways, and then we'll add it to a curve. Alright, so you can see it already on next to our Kumba track. Probably have to scale it a little bit. We'll get it to roughly the right position though. One rail at a time. We'll have to do this twice. We are not on the rail. Yep, too wide. That's fine. All right, now we go back to our track, our little wear piece here. We're gonna scale this bad boy down. Thinner too. Alright, let's check how that looks. A little bit low, which is totally fine. We're getting closer there. Now to make this really realistic, we're going to have to add the curvature of this piece to it, which will be pretty easily doable as well. And I also think we might need to tune down the reflectivity. Yeah, a little too reflective. Make that a little dirtier. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's pretty rare that I'm live, so it makes sense that you haven't caught it before, but yes, I will be adding animations for the chain lift for this one. This ride will get as realistic as possible. Everything you can think of, restraints, trains, chain dog, everything is going to be baked into this animation. This is going to be like the piece de resistance of all things I've ever done animation wise. The goal is to end up with the most realistic coaster, really, anyone has ever animated before. It's kind of a niche space, so be able to take full advantage of that. And then ultimately the plan video-wise with this is to do a video basically covering every single aspect of how a coaster works. So that's the idea anyway. Less segments. How are we feeling with that? That was kind of similar to our rails. We don't have a ton of segments. Let's check how that looks. We're getting somewhere with that. Let's move it down slightly. We're close. Need a little bit more rise in the middle. You can do that fairly easily. There we go. I think that's about what we'll need there. And we will change the texture on this to be a little bit more dirty instead of it being so glossy, smooth, clean. Honestly, probably the same story for the track itself. There we go. There's our wear mark. Right around there is what we're going for. So we can actually make this go the whole length of the track fairly easily at this point. Just got to increase the count. We have to go beyond what it will easily let us do, which is fine. We'll go like 5,000. Oh, too far. Let's try 3,000. Still too far. 2,000. All right, 2,000 is too little. Let's try 2,500. 2,200. 2,300. There we go. So just like that, we now, oh, of course, it doesn't quite reach. No, it's 2,000. Oh, I see why. We gotta scoot this thing back a little bit, but that's an easy fix. Oh, actually, it's just, oh yeah, here. Do this. There we go. And just like that, we now have our wear marks. Episode 1 of what really... Wow, you've been here for that long. Since the good old days of the first time we covered Darien Lake. Long time ago. Or in the series I've ridden is Big Thunder Mountain. Thank you. A whole 1 hour documentary on how everything works. Yeah, that would probably be the plan. This animation, God, my computer's gonna explode making this because, again, photorealism is the goal here. But yeah, that would be the goal with this project. But I mean, the wear mark is a start in that direction. So, all right, well, I think let's go ahead and save this and call it a night here. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining, chatting with me for the last 2 hours here. I certainly enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more streams like this, let me know. I enjoyed the last one. Maybe next time I'll make an announcement. But yeah. Oh, okay. We're not gonna not do wear marks on the elements where the wheels don't touch the rails, because also we have to think about this from like a realism standpoint. Rides, when they're manufactured, typically have the wear marks already there. They're just spots where they didn't add paint. So we're going to keep the wear marks. Also, doing it on elements where the wheels wouldn't touch the track would be an absolute pain. Besides the B&M, you're supposed to touch the track the whole time. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys.